Okay, I am working on a John Deere 5310, probably early 2000s power reverser. What had happened was the shifter for the ABC was wobbling around. Something was broken underneath. I wasn't sure. So I pulled this cover, and what I found was a broken shift rail for the BC, which is this one right here. Broken shift rail, which is in here. Now, the book tells you it wants you to split the tractor in 2 or 3 pieces, which I really didn't want to do, so I experimented a little bit, and hopefully this will help. It's already done, which means I didn't have to split the tractor. So what I did was I took these bolts out, loosened these. This is for the brake. I don't know if the sync shift has that, but if this isn't there, that's fine. So then I took out the spring detents on either side, 2 springs, 2 small balls. Then there's a pin and a ball right here for the, I guess, anti-shift that only one rail moves back and forth. So once I got all those balls, springs out, took these 2 bolts, or these 2 covers off. There's a small like sleeve that goes in between the block and this aluminum piece, so don't drop those down in. So those will come out with these 2 bolts here. Then what I did is I lifted up on this. This is for the brake, for the power reverser, and I slid. Oh, pardon me, I'm going to back up here. What I did is I took these 2 bolts out. Obviously, this one was flopping around, so I just moved this out of the way. This one, I took the bolt out, and I was able to slide this shift rail forward, after I got the broken piece out. Where's my broken piece? Right there. Okay. Don't let that broken piece fall down in after you take these 2 bolts out. Then with these 2 slid forward, it exposes these ends here. Then I was able to lift up on this just enough to slide this whole aluminum piece back up and out of the way. At that point, I was able to take this shift rail, and you can slide this forward, and it will go up into this area, but do not drop this shift rail. There's like a cast opening here. It's just big enough to fit these 2 rails through. Do not drop it into the transmission, otherwise you're done for the day. So I was able to slide this shift rail forward, which was still good. And then once it was freed from here, I was able to lean this out of the way, bring this shift rail out. At that point, I moved this shift rail all the way back. You can turn it just so that will lift up and out of the way. Next, I slid this shift rail forward. Again, don't drop it into the front of the trans till it's free. Then you can lift this up and out of the way. So to reverse the process, this shift rail and this fork are still out. You got to start with this one for the BC. So you put the new shift rail, it kind of has to go in this way up through that little opening there, and if you're very, very careful and don't drop it in, you wiggle it back through this shift fork. Make sure that you still have it engaged down inside. Then you can just kind of let it stop short. Don't forget about that bushing. That bushing right there has to go back in. Okay? And if that's not there when you take this apart, this bushing is down inside. So once you get that kind of hanging about right here, then you go back with this shift rail. You put it in, slide it through. Actually, put this shift rail in, drop the fork back in. You can slide this back up through the block, and I left everything loose until I got these engaged in here into the back, because that's what carries it, here and here. Then you lift up on this, slide this back in, and get these aligned with this while you're doing that. Then make sure your little bushings are in there. Bushing, leave all this stuff loose. Put your pin ball back in here, 2 balls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 springs. Then leave it all loose until you confirm everything's kind of moving freely. Then tighten everything up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tighten all those up, and you should be back in business. Again, I already did this because I wasn't sure if I could do it to begin with, and I'm going to film the whole thing. So if you're somewhat confused, watch the video a couple of times. Don't forget about the bushing, spring ball, pin, ball underneath that pin that's down in there. And you should be able to do it without splitting the tractor. All right, hope this helps.